Hi everyone, I'm Shelby Hartman, Double Blind's co-founder and editor-in-chief, and today we're talking about trippy cartoons. But before we jump into it, I just want to remind you to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button if you never want to miss a beat from us. Also, as a psychedelic magazine, not sure if you know, but we've been up against all kinds of crazy censorship on platforms like this one and others, which is why we put a lot of love into a free weekly newsletter called The Drop-In that has psychedelic news written by us on politics and drug development and really interesting stories about characters in the psychedelic space, as well as a whole section around tips for tripping and how you can go more deeply into your psychedelic journeys. And this is because if, God forbid, any of our accounts should ever get taken away on these platforms, we still want a way to be able to connect with you. So if you feel called, you can subscribe to that at the link in the description of this video. So there's no shortage of cartoons with trippy messages, colors, and characters from Hollywood's golden age. From rock and roll concept albums to Disney classics, some of these visuals are so strange that the animators must have been inspired by their own psychedelic experiences. Am I right? Whether you're currently tripping or just a fan of free-spirited animations, these are some of our favorites. While Disney was still in its infancy, animators constantly experimented with new techniques for dramatic storytelling. What began as a series of animated shorts for Walt to showcase his new Technicolor cameras soon morphed into some of the weirdest cartoons ever produced. These animations featured exaggerated characters and facial expressions to portray emotions that, if we're being honest, look pretty haunting compared to the cartoons we enjoy today. Just check out Lullaby Land, a story about a baby drifting off to a slumberland full of wizards, forbidden gardens, and an epic face-off against the bogeyman himself. We should give you a heads up that some of these old cartoons contain harmful cultural depictions, which we don't condone or tolerate at Double Blind. One cartoon that pushed the envelope for what was considered suitable content for children in the trippiest way possible is Ren and Stimpy. The show, which helped cement Nickelodeon's stranglehold on after-school programming in the 90s, featured a lovable yet obtuse cat and a bad-tempered chihuahua. The show was famous for its shock value, dark humor, and extreme close-ups of what we can only describe as animated filth. During a time when many children were left alone during the evening while both parents were working, the animations featured in this trippy cartoon were likely some of the younger generation's first exposure to psychedelic art.
Welcome to Timbuktu. There are 30 million names in the Naked City. I can only pronounce half of them. Mine's easy though.
Many remember the 90s as the decade of day-glow colors and moody music. I personally remember the 90s as the era of Spice Girls and Backstreet Boys. That's just me, but anyone alive to watch MTV when they played actual music videos, and I am old enough to remember that, may recall the network's short-lived series Liquid Television. It was a 30-minute show that aired at night from 1991 to 1995, featuring animated shorts from a collection of independent artists who let their imaginations run wild. The series introduced Beavis and Butthead and Aeon Flux to the world, and some of their recurring segments, which include a psychedelic detective, multiple adult-themed puppet shows, and a short with changing patterns set to rock music, leads us to assume the creators wanted us to experience the show while tripping. Post-apocalyptic show follows Finn and his adopted brother dog Jake as they survive the land of Ooo. Featuring characters like Princess Bubblegum and the Ice King, Adventure Time is a dark comedy full of psychedelic aesthetics, positive messages, and just a splash of nonsensical weirdness for good measure.
Flanders, you gotta help me. Well, sure, buddy. I'd be happy to help out. What can I do? Doodly doo, doodly doodly diddly doodly, hobbly hoodly, hobbly hoodly, hobbly gobble 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 gabba gabba, hey!
Okay, obviously we had to include The Simpsons. Created by Matt Groening, The Simpsons is the longest-running animated series in history. Over the years, the Simpson family has met numerous presidents, celebrities, and some theorize the show has even predicted some real-life events before they occurred. But by far, the trippiest plotline in the show's history first aired on January 5th, 1997. In the episode, Homer eats several hot chili peppers at a cook-off and starts to trip, causing him to go on a voyage through his emotions where he begins questioning his relationship with his wife, Marge. From melting faces to discovering his spirit animal, we watch as Homer vividly hallucinates in the desert and ultimately discovers that he and Marge are soulmates. That cute. In yet another positive portrayal of psychedelics in animation, the episode ends with Homer having a greater understanding of himself and the woman he loves, and we get to see a coyote spirit guide voiced by Johnny Cash. Fantastic Planet. This one is for the science fiction fans. Fantastic Planet takes place on a distant planet where blue giants rule over oppressed humanoids who rebel against their machine-like leaders. This French animated film, released in 1973, touches on humanity's struggle for power and is either fascinating or absolutely terrifying to watch while tripping. Take some time to mentally prepare yourself before viewing that one. Okay, Yellow Submarine. I mean, who doesn't love the Yellow Submarine, really? This comedy adventure, inspired by the Beatles' music, may be the most well-known example of psychedelic animation ever. Just as the hype surrounding Beatlemania was beginning to settle, the Beatles and animator George Dunning debuted their film just before taking their infamous trip to India. Heinz Edelman made the psychedelic artwork featured in the film. His surreal visuals were pretty different from other animated movies being released at the time by companies like Disney. Fans of kaleidoscopic patterns and colorful visuals will definitely enjoy it. This rock opera, which features numerous animated segments, uses cartoons to depict incredibly emotional scenes that are almost always metaphorical. The story follows a fictional rock star named Pink. The pressures of fame drive Pink mad, and he constructs a physical and emotional wall to protect himself. Throughout the film, we see children put through meat grinders, oppressive regimes, and marching hammers, all meant to showcase the band's anti-war stance while visually portraying what it feels like to hallucinate. Forewarning, some scenes might be too intense to watch while tripping, but combining Pink Floyd's music with stunning and otherworldly visuals make it a must to watch. Adding to the collection of psychedelic programming currently featured on Netflix, Love, Death, and Robots is a series of emotionally charged stories in various animated stylings exploring many different concepts. From cyberpunk space battles to time travel and humanity itself, the themes throughout each season are intentionally unsettling. With 3 seasons worth of animated shorts from producer David Finch, famously responsible for movies like Fight Club, Seven, and Zodiac, you'll have enough trippy cartoons for an entire weekend of psychedelic television. A couple episodes we recommend are, quote, When the Yogurt Took Over, which is pretty funny, or the extra trippy Ice Age, which tells the story of a couple who finds an antique refrigerator while moving into a new apartment. After opening it to get ice, they realize that a fast-moving, time-dilated civilization is developing inside. Did your favorite trippy cartoon make this list?